I'm Simone Kovacs, one of the founders of Motif and a YA fantasy writer. Today, I'm going to be showing you how to create story elements in Motif. So let's jump in. We're going to start in our test project, A Christmas Carol. And I'm going to just briefly show you all the different types of story elements you can create, some of the starter copy that we have there for you to think about in terms of what to put into these templates. And then we'll actually go into my own work in progress, and I'll show you how I use story elements to build a massive fantasy world. So in A Christmas Carol, or in any project that you have in Motif, you have your Write tab, your Plan tab, and your Research tab. Story elements take place in the Plan tab, where you have storyboards and story elements. In our previous video, we covered freeform storyboards, so now we're going to talk about our story elements. There are several different types of story elements. There are characters, settings, objects, and custom elements. But basically, they all do kind of the same thing. They just have different template copy for you. So when you add a character, so we'll come down here and we'll say, maybe we'll say Bob Cratchit for A Christmas Carol. You'll be able to name your character, select their role in the story, create a short summary, and then you'll have 3 template cards to start with that summarize that prompt you to give a little bit of their backstory, goals, and descriptions, whether that's their physical appearance or maybe you want to describe their personality traits. However, as you go along, you can add any cards that you'd like. So maybe you want to say something like his emotional arc. So you kind of know where that's going in the story as well. So if we take a look over here at Ebenezer Scrooge, you can see that we've filled this out to name him as the protagonist. We've given him a little bit of a summary, as well as kind of identified some of his relationships, backstory, personality traits, appearance, things like that. And you can do these for each type of story element that you have. So we'll have London in here. We have description, significance, and history. We have a custom element or an object, Tiny Tim's crutch. And then we have custom elements like, for example, Christmas caroling. Maybe you want to add a little bit of information or research over here that you want to be able to access easily while you're in your in the Write tab and in a document. Because remember, when you create story elements, you can actually pull them up over here in the Write tab at any time. So if you want to refer to something that you've written before in a story element, just pull them up over here. And that basically makes it so that you don't have to lose your workflow by moving away from your document. So here we have a few different types of story elements, but I want to show you kind of a bigger range of what you can do with story elements. And I'm actually going to use one of my works in progress to show you how I tackle story elements as a YA fantasy writer. So we'll go out into my dashboard. It's actually my home dashboard. So you can see I have some test projects on here. I have our Christmas Carol tutorial, and I also have 2 works in progress. And I'm going to go into one of my works in progress that I've built out a very large fantasy world for and basically named a ton of different types of story elements. So I have my characters like you'd expect. This is a folder view. When I click on it, you can kind of see all of that character information. Same with settings, but then I've also added a lot of detail around world and society, and I use those custom elements to do this. So I have a custom element around climate and nature for my world, where I'm basically detailing the flora, the fauna, natural resources, all of the things that kind of make up this fantasy world. So whether you're writing like a modern, like realistic fiction novel, or whether you're writing a sci-fi or dystopian, using these story elements to kind of just plan out your world and being able to access that while you're writing can just kind of help you stay in the flow and keep track of everything that's happening. So I'll show you another one that I have with religion. I have a bunch of different gods in my fantasy world. I also have like magic and weaponry. There's a mining system in my world, so I cover a little bit about that. the magic system, which is really important to me. I detail all of those things there. I go into like my different settings, and sometimes with some of these as well, I have these little like emojis just to like keep track of or like kind of just identify quickly off the bat if I have a lot of cards in here, what it is that I actually have. This is pretty simple on any kind of keyboard. You usually like right click, you get emojis and symbols, and you can kind of just like pop them in there. Or you can always just copy paste your emojis in, but I like to add a little bit of flair to mine, just to quickly identify what it is that I'm talking about. So that's just kind of one way that you can approach all of this world building with story elements. And as we kind of expand Motif, we'll be adding more templates in here as well, whether that's different card types or actual like world building templates. That's one of the things that's really important to us to add along the way. So you can expect more updates to these as well in the future. But right now, it's pretty basic. You just get to add cards, fill them out, and keep track of all your character settings or all the different elements of your story. As always, if you ever have any trouble with story elements, you can reach out to us at help@meetmotif.com, and we'll be happy to connect with you and try and fix your problems.